feels like everything has been created through a spreadsheet. The more that these developments go up through our cities, the more lifeless and soulless the city becomes. I really wanted to showcase how you can bring some personality and some life back into the city. Last year, I created the RHS and MEN Ginnell Garden at the Tatton Park Flower Show. This year, I don't just have one garden, it's not two, in fact it's 7. What is Cloudscape? Cloudscape is a collection of gardens. They are designed to demonstrate what a development in the future could look like. Gardens 1 to 4, the balconies, north, east, south, and west. I'm working with Manchester Metropolitan University, who will be helping me create 4 of the balcony gardens. So this garden as a whole would probably have cost in the region of £10,000 to £15,000 to make. Notice you've got £500, right? We have students from all across campus, from marketing, interior design to architecture. They've been split up into groups of 4. Each one of them has a particular direction, and now's the time where we're doing a bit of fine-tuning. So we've done quite a lot of work on the design. Now it's time for me to come in and be the bad guy. Bring up your planting plans, your planting list, and bring up your design plans. And I want to know where exactly it is. Seeing how engaged the students are and how passionate they are about this project, and knowing that they are volunteering their own time, that for me is my driving force to continue and get this project done.
The theme that we've got for this urban show is ours is a south-facing balcony. So we kind of have a challenge in this brief. That is because the south-facing balcony usually gets a large amount of sunlight coming into the space. It's kind of interesting to see how we could actually use the excess water that we are getting it in our city to help supply to the plants that we are planting in the space.
So it's a 4-person family. Both kids are primary school age. We've got a lot of handmade things to keep that budget down. Plastic bottles, cartons, and the kids' old wellies as planters.
We're basing it around students. The idea of can you have plants in a balcony in a student accommodation building? We're thinking of a modular design. Students move around a lot, so anything that is transportable that we can move between accommodation buildings would be good.
So we're working on a Chinese-inspired garden for a lady called Chen Li. She's 35. She's moved from China to Manchester. We're going to source the plants from a nursery nearby that Jason's kind of got some contact with, but I think we've got it on market. It should be quite good.
Garden number 5, the Notcutts Shade Garden. Today I'm here at Notcutts Garden Centre, and they are going to be creating a patio space which will be designed for renters. And part of gardening, especially for urban residents, is being able to come to somewhere like this and finding what you need that's going to work in your space that is actually at an affordable, accessible price. Well, part of the design is to have something like this, except it's all going to be real. This patio is only going to be 4 meters by 3 meters. So we've got to fit in as much as we can, but also make it feel homely and not cluttered. So we need to kind of figure out how we're going to get that balance. My relationship with Notcutts actually started during lockdown, and it was a place that I felt really welcoming. To have a team around that's really, really knowledgeable, I think it's really, really key, and it's something that they have built into all of their stores across the country. I actually really like that. I think it looks really cool. So yeah, we've got lots of options. And a month, like, I mean, it's fine, we can do it. And in terms of flowers, I mean, you've actually got quite a bit of colour out there at the moment.
Yeah.
Ooh, is this the new one? Yeah. kind of like that, that's cute. Over the course of the past 3 or 4 years, my life has really changed. I was a general manager in hospitality with no horticultural background. I started gardening on my balcony during lockdown, and it took a bit of time for me to figure out how to navigate my own space. Back then, I never thought that I would be where I'm at now. Garden number 6, the Urban Cloud Farm. Ooh, everything's really been filling out there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's looking...
Yeah, we've had a really nice winter season.
Yeah.
Shall we make
Yeah.
a run for it?
We have an urban farm in the Cloudscape development, and the urban farm represents what developers or housing associations could do when they create these new developments. The idea is to show them that instead of their car park planting or a vast lawn, what they could do is they could create some form of an allotment space to encourage some community gardening. It's all about finding people who are just as passionate about urban greening as I am and connecting them, giving them a platform to showcase what they are talking about. We are a group of people who all believe the same thing, and not only believe it, we are all actively doing it. And so you have someone like Liz and Andy from Plant Co-op who are really doing this on a day-to-day basis.
Our aim here is to see the city as a garden, treat the city as a garden and garden it. There's a lack of green space in cities, but there's also a lack of people being able to connect with the green space. So you might be gifted a park that you can go and sit in, but there's hardly any opportunities to garden, and people don't really have gardens. Some people don't even have a balcony or whatnot. So we've given people that opportunity to do that and take that ownership and make a difference to the land. And it just seems like there's loads of city people out there wanting to do gardening or not knowing and not having the opportunity, and we provide that. And yeah, I can't really describe the goodness of that.
What would you say to any developer or organisation that would say that a space like this wouldn't work?
I'd say it can work. We're living proof here that it can be done. Usually these spaces are in some way geared to being for the community, so let them get involved with it and connect to it further, and that will only enrich what you're doing, and yeah, it's win-win. Was it good? Was it good?
Garden number 7, the cooperative Cloud Space. The inspiration behind Cloudscape is actually my commute through the city. All I see is concrete and grey, and I look at balconies and I see that people have their washing outside, they have bikes, and I just wish that people across the city knew what they could do with those small spaces. And so part of my research for this project was walking around lots of different towns and cities and thinking, how can we maximize on this? And there are lots of pockets of green popping up across the city. Right now, we are in a development called Campus. It is absolutely tremendous what they've done here. It looks like we're in some kind of jungle, but we are in Manchester city centre, and they've created this urban oasis. When you live in a city, sometimes it's really difficult to switch off. So to be able to find a little green pocket where you can just sit and just watch the world go by, it can make such a difference to you if you're having a poor day. People are screaming out for green spaces, and I know just how much my garden has helped me. My name is Jason Williams, also known as the Cloud Gardener.
I'm Claire Mutterson, Director General of the RHS.
So let's start with you, Jason.
The RHS Urban Show has been long needed. I think because so many of us these days are living in urban environments, these people aren't always reflected in some of the bigger shows. And so what this show does is it focuses in on people who've got small spaces, like a balcony, like a patio. So for guests of the show to be able to come to Depot Mayfield and then see their own spaces reflected back at them, I think that's probably one of the things I'm most excited about. I'm here in Ardwick and I'm working with the students. Today is the day where we measure everything out and make sure that everything comes together. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Alright, okay, so we're marking out the doors here, and it's meant to be like a metre.
It's so small. I'm imagining so much bigger than this, and then you actually think about, no, in a city.
In a city, yeah.
Having a balcony this big, you'd be, you know,
Yeah, paying good money for this.
you'd be quite happy with it.
Yeah.
There's one thing about having a design, sometimes everything looks great on paper, but sometimes you physically need to see things in front of you to work out whether or not it's going to work. I call it a blocking stage. This is a time where they might make a few changes here and there, and that's absolutely cool. It's better to know now than during the build at the show. What else is evergreen in this plant?
We have ivies.
The ivies are
Ivies,
evergreen,
yeah.
And then we have euphorbia as
Euphorbia,
well.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. See?
Just
I will stop
skeleton.
being mean judge now. You convinced me, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not being nasty things.
Listen, don't be putting that in the edit. I really like these planters, you know. Today we are at Brentwood Moss Lane's nursery. The goal today is to select all of the plants that we are going to be using for the RHS Urban Show garden. Should we go see our pile then? Liz has put together a really inventive planting plan, thinking about sensory, planting, texture, height, edibles. There's lots going on, and the goal is to show developers that they could do something like that and then create some community engagement with their own residents as well. I'm looking for some specific qualities for the plants that I'm selecting. Either the plant is just coming into bud or is just started to flower. That should hopefully give us enough time to get the plant transported, get it settled at the show, planted at the show, and then just as the show begins, the flower really opens up and will remain in bloom. All about timing. I reckon in a week's time.
So do I.
Wow.
Yeah.
Being classified, I guess, as an influencer, I really don't like that word. I think part of the struggle is working out what is it that I'm influencing. If I'm going to influence urban gardening, if I'm going to do something like that, I need to do it through some form of legacy. The communal garden that I'm planting up with Liz is going to be relocated to a local school in Ancoats in Manchester. So that part of the garden is going to live on. The balconies are going to be relocated to Manchester Metropolitan University. The Notcutts shade garden is also going to be relocated back to their store in Ashton. And once again, the ideas, the ethos behind the garden are going to live on. So, the Cloudscape will be all the way down to those two columns at the very end. Hi guys. Hello, Mike and Mark. So here, and here, there'll be some trees coming out, so it'll feel like you literally are in my development in the middle of Manchester. We've got a market stall out there, which will have an A-board talking about our workshops. It's going to have a seating area over here, so it's just going to be over there. There's going to be an urban farm, and it's going to have like a couple of raised beds, an arch. It's going to have a pond at the bottom, and then we've got a giant cherry tree that's going in there. This one is a foreign exchange student. She's moved from China and she's studying here in Manchester, and she wanted to recreate a slice of home. But she's got an east-facing garden, so she's really into growing. It looks stunning. Hiya. It looks stunning. It is day 3 of the build at the RHS Urban Show. We have begun our blocking stages, so we've now got all of our plants and containers in. We're trying to get them into the right place. It is an absolute madness, but everything is actually under control, strangely. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go because I've got some containers to plant up. We are finally here at the RHS Urban Show. The gardens are being received so well. I'm just ecstatic. I'm ecstatic that all of that hard work we put in now is just being recognised, and people seem to really love it.
I built the planter, that was pretty cool, but again, a lot of grueling work. I didn't expect it to be that much. But if you put time and effort into anything, it'll come out, and I think that definitely shows with this garden, which has been very rewarding. Big up Jason Williams.
It's a beautiful feeling when you get to see people actually seeing your work and saying, oh, I could do this in my balcony. Because I feel like that's the main point of these shows, is for people to get more interested and actually seeing that they can do a lot with just little.
Thanks to Jason, he's actually helped us a lot in finalizing our plant selection, our props, in getting the whole theme and concept together, and we're very proud of ourselves, and it's really nice.
The press coverage for this exhibit has been absolutely immense, but I think it's down to the concept. I see this whole exhibit as using it as a platform to make some real change. The show is finally over, and we are on day 2 of the breakdown process. So right now we are at Co-op Academy in New Islington, where we are relocating garden number 7, which was the plant cooperative Cloudscape. We have donated this garden to Claudia and her pupils here at the school, and hopefully this will be a really great learning resource for the children. Over here we've got all of the plants that we used for the plant cooperative Cloudscape. Me and Liz and Andy will come back to site. We're going to make our very own planting plan to make sure that we've got the right plants in the right space, and then we're going to distribute them all around the school. The containers have now been relocated, moved here, and we've done several workshops. We've relocated gardens 7 and 6, and they've planted up some of the plants that we had at the show. We've even done some seed sowing, so we planted up some carrots, some beans, some cucumbers, some melons. We've also done some forest school lessons where we've been looking at insects, we've been looking at wildlife. In fact, it's not a worm. What is that?
Oh, it's a baby centipede.
Having the garden relocate to the school, it means the world to me, because my vision was to incorporate growing skills into the curriculum.
Most of the kids who come here don't have a garden at home or even a balcony, so be able to engage them from a young age in particular, get them getting their hands dirty and stuck into the soil is really important.
Okay, so now you've got to completely fill everything. So what you can do You can either do it by hand.
There are a lot of people out there who really want to garden who don't have access to green space in the city. So through facilitation and through gardeners being able to come down and show them the means to garden, you can be so much more expansive in the way in which you view your green space.
Before we get started with Forest School, this was all a wild piece of land. We're now growing carrots, we're growing potatoes, and now we have this lovely garden to play with and to grow with. So this is just the perfect match. It's just a dream come true.
Oh damn, I needed that. I think in all honesty, I haven't actually begun that reflective period yet, because straight after the show we went straight into doing loads of different things, relocating the garden. It's flower show season, and I think what I need to do is have a little bit of a time out and really think and then make my plan to make sure that all of this work that I've done hasn't just gone to the wayside. So I think sleep, tea, and then get back to work.